According to LTA statistics, the 3 best-selling brands in Singapore in 2023 deliver 0 surprises: Toyota, Mercedes, and BMW in that order. These are the stalwart brands as far as popularity is concerned. The brand at number 4 though may surprise some people: BYD. And what's most impressive is just how quickly BYD has vaulted into this position. In 2021, just 89 BYD cars were registered. Now that was of course before the introduction of the car you see here, the BYD Atto 3. Now since its introduction in 2022, BYD has exponentially expanded its presence. In 2023, BYD led the EV pack with a total of 1,416 units registered. And the Atto 3 made up 76% of BYD's sales. That's 3 in every 4 cars. So what you are looking at may very well be the most popular EV in Singapore. In fact, it's also Sgcarmart's Top Viewed Model of 2023. So let's take a closer look at this People's Choice to find out what's so popular about the Atto 3. So let's start first with how this car is designed. For the Atto 3, BYD has gone with a dragon-inspired design philosophy and executed it really well. Unlike some futuristic EVs that could be overly quirky, the smooth and unconfrontational front end of the Atto 3 is pleasant to look at and yet unique to the car. You won't find fancy creases here or a fake grille. In fact, what you'll find is a single strip LED underneath a chrome slat that connects a pair of sharp headlights. Matching the smooth and pleasant front end is a curvy, sculpted body that leads to a rear end with BYD's iconic taillight that stretches across the entire width of the car. Yes, it's perhaps not the most sexy or futuristic design, but that actually works to its advantage. Visually, it's interesting, but not overwhelming. It manages to balance futuristic ambition with present-day familiarity. This, after all, is a practical, family-friendly crossover. It needs to do all the sensible things well. To that end, there is a sizable 440 litres worth of boot space underneath this powered tailgate, which should be more than enough to see to a family's hauling needs. Where the outside of the car is relatively familiar and sensible, the interior is a different story. In here, it's lively. On first looks, this is quite an extroverted space, complete with all kinds of unique design touches. You have these muscle fiber inspired contours, disc-like aircon vents, guzheng inspired strings on the door bins, quirky door handles, and all kinds of shapes and contours. However, while the design elements may be attention-grabbing and conversation-starting, where the Atto 3 impresses is in fact the features and functionality offered. It starts with this 12.8-inch rotating infotainment display. Well, 15.6 inches if you're in the newer model year 2024 unit, which this display is from. Yes, it will flip both horizontal and vertical, which is a slick design touch. But what's more important is what's housed within. It's packed full of features, or apps perhaps, including phone connectivity, navigation, or even Spotify. And you can even control functions through voice commands. While there's no denying that this car has plenty of features and technology, we should not lose sight of the fact that for most people, a car should function simply. And in here, that is very much the case. Key driving functions are easily accessed, and similarly, key driving information displayed front and center. For the rest of the family, this is a comfortable, spacious enough crossover. The rear seats offer a good level of space and comfort. Now, as we've mentioned, the Atto 3 is the best-selling EV of 2023. Now, if you spend some time driving it, it won't be surprising at all. Being an EV, you would have already guessed that the Atto 3 is going to be quite a torque monster. Indeed, offered in both Cat A and Cat B COE variants, the Atto 3 puts out 134 and 201 brake horsepower respectively. But the best thing of all is that both variants churn out 310 Nm of immediate torque. So what all these numbers translate to is a zippy drive when you find the need to go fast, and yet a smooth drive, smooth like the looks of the Atto 3, when you want to take it easy. Moreover, the Atto 3 packs a substantially sized 60.5 kWh blade battery that will allow a WLTP combined range of 420 km. You would probably be able to drive about the entire week before it needs a recharge. Also, it's a very pleasant and easygoing car to pilot. Ride quality is excellent, noise insulation is good, and from a footprint perspective, it's a good size for most drivers. Easy to park, easy to U-turn, generally hassle-free. Of course, it's hard to overlook perhaps what is the greatest appeal for the Atto 3. Value for money. With this car, you get a practical yet stylish EV with a stout drivetrain, substantial drive range, and a full suite of driver assistance systems. And most relevantly, it is also one of the cheapest EVs you can buy today. Its popularity then should come as no surprise. As we push towards greater electrification, it is exactly a car like this that will appeal to people looking to make the switch. It's quirky enough to be different, interesting enough to start conversations, but when it comes to the simple act of driving, it just does the job well. We can wax lyrical about 0 to 100 km/h timings and complicated self-driving features, but the reality is that for many people, practicality, sensibility, and affordability are the most important factors. And that's where the Atto 3 shines. It makes electric mobility accessible for everyone without ever running the risk of being dulled. Little wonder then that it's the most popular EV of 2023, as well as our Sgcarmart Top Viewed Model. And I dare say this trend will likely continue into 2024.